Broadcasting live from the Business Radio X studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio, spotlighting the city's best businesses and the people who lead them.
And we are back with ATDC Radio, this very special edition of Atlanta Business Radio. Stone Payton and producer Blake here with you. We're hitting our stride, man. This is like our third episode today, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun. As I've already mentioned, and I know that all of our listeners know, Blake and I enjoy this so much. It's we learn something every time we come down here, and I just get I get recharged and that much more excited about my own entrepreneurial journey, and I know you do too. You were just talking after the last one. You're really getting excited about doing more and more audio work for entrepreneurs, like your audio book projects, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've started up an audiobook project for an author named Pete Canalicchio. He does a lot of stuff for brands. He does stuff for that, and he made something called the Lasso Method. Been really insightful reading into that because I'm not from a business background, but I was able to actually follow the book as if I was. So it was very, very enlightening to actually be able to listen in and actually work on the project and understand it at the same time.
You know, I didn't even think about that part. You're getting quite an education listening to that material, aren't you?
Yes, and in my tenure here at Business Radio X, I actually learned a lot more about businesses and like actual things in life than I did in school because they teach you book work, but they don't teach you stuff about, oh, this is how you do this is how you do this in the business. And it's like, this is really insightful compared to what I do in school.
Well, it can be that way. You know, I still produce some shows, and sitting in that chair, it's like sitting in a master class a lot of times, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And it's very different from master classes I've had in the past because I'm a musician by trade, and it's very different compared to what you do there.
Well, you can learn a ton. It's always exciting. We always build marvelous relationships. This is going to be no exception. Please join me in welcoming to the broadcast founder with Bamboo Services, Miss Tamara Lucas. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we are delighted to have you. So tell us a little bit, mission, purpose at Bamboo Services. What you out there trying to get done for folks?
So we are a on-demand personal assistant business. We are hyper local, so we are within defined communities. We help people within the community kind of reach out to other people in their community and help them out with stuff that they can't get off their to-do list.
Oh, my. So my list would be very long, but what are some examples?
Yours, everyone's is.
yeah, sure.
So laundry is always a big one. Folding laundry is huge. Okay. We've done things like go in and find all the burnout light bulbs in the house and go to the store and get the right size and do that. We run errands for people. We can do research for your mother-in-law's birthday present. We can help with kitchen tidy ups. We can pop in your house and just empty that dishwasher that's been sitting there and fill it, and you can come home and your kitchen will be wiped down.
So you know what? There's like getting ready for the maid. There's the maid, right? And you write that check, but it's work because it just comes around for us every other week.
Yep.
And I mean, oh my God, you know, they come on a Tuesday and it's Monday night. It's that week. Oh, the maids are coming tomorrow, and it's like work.
Yes, it is. It's so stressful. And so, you know, it's funny actually, but the very birth of this idea was, a friend of mine, she was working for a dog walking service, and she was like, oh my God, I go in these houses and holy cow, they need so much more than the dog just walked. If they would throw me $20, I would totally clean up their kitchen for them. And so we started thinking, we're like, man, you know, I bet there's people all over this neighborhood. So I live in the Oakhurst neighborhood of Decatur. And so I'm like, I bet there's people all throughout here that need all sorts of things done. There's lots of us that work from home or stay at home moms or just work odd hours that have little bits of time. We were like, wouldn't it be cool if we could kind of connect those people? So it started off just sort of this little baby thing, like, yeah, that'd be fun to do in my neighborhood. And then I started taking classes here at ATDC, and I started really getting an idea of the scope of what this could be, and that everybody kind of needs that extra set of hands around the house. And so finally I was like, you know what, this is something that can be a real business. So.
All right, so let's talk about that a little bit, because at first blush, and so I want to educate myself some here. The idea of the business, first of all, it sounds like a needed thing, and I resonate with the idea, and I think I'm a person that would write a check for some of these services. And at first blush, I'm wondering, you know, ATDC, is that maybe a little too much sugar for a dime, as we say down this way? Do you really need that kind of help to get this kind of business off the ground? And I think maybe you would say yes.
Well, we are driven by an app, so we're technology based. So while we are service, that is our primary thing is service. we are being driven by our mobile app that we are like, oh my God, like a week or 10 days out from releasing, which is super exciting. So it'll be in the App Store. We're within 2 weeks, we're hoping.
Wow.
So that's really exciting. So it's really how to utilize that technology to make things really streamlined and make it so we can really scale while maintaining that personal connection and really that hyper-local sense of community as well. So it's really an interesting melding of two things. But yeah, ATDC has been immensely helpful in and helping us with that.
Okay, so there's and we've been talking about it all day here, the informal, the environment, the vibe around here. There's that, but there's also there's some formal structure to the education process. You're participating actually in a part of the process called Educate, right? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah. So they have different classes, and you kind of get your different badges in those classes. And so to start out, they just help you with your customer discovery and just really figuring out, is your hypothesis for your business actually something that people need? Is there a need out there? What will people actually pay for it? I spent a lot of time sort of in there and going out interviewing people. That's where I found out that laundry is the number one thing that people, it's like.
Okay. So that's how you get the answers to these questions is you're going out, you're asking people and you learn something. I cut you off, but you learned something, that you didn't know before.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole customer discovery process that they guide you through here.
Right.
And then then helping you understand like how to scale and just the business things. I mean, I have my master's in social work, right? I'm not kind of like you. I'm not a business. That's not my background, right? I help people, which kind of feeds into, what we're doing now with Bamboo. But understanding all the financials and building out like business models and financial models and seeing how, if you tweak your business this way, how will that spin out in 5 years with your financials? And so just building the business part of it is huge. Okay.
So backing up, customer discovery, you went out, you started asking questions, and you started to say something about laundry. You discovered something that this was a really big need.
Yeah. So so then that helped us kind of guide, what our standard services are. So the way we work, we've got two different kinds of services. One of them is just our standard services, and those, are meant to be sort of almost like an impulse buy, right? They're $22 for the member. So it's really quite affordable. The pandas, so Panda, I need to explain that. So Bamboo is the name of the company, right? And so our workers, I'm digressing here, but we were like, well, God, what are we going to call our workers? Can we call them pandas? We're like, I think we can. That's adorable.
It's an endearing term, right? Yeah. And I'd love to tell, hey, honey, we got a panda coming to.
Totally.
Don't worry about that. A panda will get that tomorrow.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. So that's what we did. And I've been in a test mode in my neighborhood for about a little over a year now. And so the pandas are our workers. And then a couple months ago, my business partner was with her mom, and her mom's like, so what does panda stand for? She's like, nothing. They're just pandas. She's like, no. It has to stand for something. She's like, wait a minute. We have personal assistant business. The personal assistants on demand anytime. So Sweet. We have this, we're like, that was meant to be. So
I love
and that
it.
really defines kind of what our business is too, right? So because the pandas are within the defined neighborhood, we have a service grove for each neighborhood. So for example, in my neighborhood, I'm in Oakhurst in Decatur. It's a small neighborhood. I've got Kirkwood on one side, Eastlake on another side, Winona Park on another side, and then downtown Decatur on the other side. So that's just like the little grove that the pandas in Oakhurst work in. So they're never going more than 10 minutes. So these little standard jobs, the way we can make them affordable is the panda can just like take a little break in their day and pop over to their neighbor's house and go in and do a quick kitchen tidy up. So we keep those under 45 minutes. So it's just quick, and panda gets paid out a fair price, and the members pay $22. So our standard services were driven. So laundry is one of them. The kitchen tidy up is another one. We have a pet service. We do vacation service, trash to curb. We can go and take your trash down in the morning and put it back up in the evening. So we'll have an errand run within a 2-mile radius. We can go run a quick errand for you. So those are our standard services. But then because we're personal assistants, it's really anything else you want. So then we have your create your own, right? So that really is an open end, and this is all within our app, and people can just quick hit a button and it just sends it out to all of our pandas in the neighborhood. So anything you need, like I said, researching your mother-in-law's present, or, finding out where, planning a trip for your family, putting together the details for that, whatever you might need. And our pandas,
my wife would be a great panda for that one. My wife would want to be a panda for planning the trip. She just so enjoys that part of things, and she enjoys doing it for other people.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. I've been hiring a lot of pandas right now. We're getting ready to launch as soon as our app comes out. We're going to be launching and getting members. So right now we're getting our supply up for pandas, right? Because in this sort of business, the supply and demand.
There is a little chicken and egg thing here, right?
There is. So we're hiring right now, and we let everyone know, hey, we're going to have a little lapse before we really start having any sort of, serious business. And so the past month, I've hired we're opening up in a small area in Buckhead and then down in the Decatur area. I've hired probably over 40 people to be pandas. So it's really exciting. But everyone the pandas, it's interesting, the desire of everyone to help. Like the money is something that they want to do, but almost everyone's like, I just want to help my community and help my neighbors. And so, and do things like, some people love folding laundry, right? And they're like, I would totally love to do that and get paid $15, sure. And so it's been really fun to kind of hear how much people love doing stuff for others. Now,
with an app, it strikes me that one of the nice things about that is I know that I'm going to get the service, or if I don't, for some reason, there's probably some sort of path to recourse to, it didn't work out or whatever. And I know if I'm a panda, I'm going to get paid, right? Because is that one of the big benefits of the app, is that's all handled centrally instead of me having to?
Yes. So we're working with Stripe. So when the member sets up their profile, they put their card in there. It's just kind of like Uber. When you get out of the car, you don't have to do anything. It's just right
and
there.
I love that about Uber. And so it's very much like that with what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the pandas get paid weekly, and, it's super, super simple.
So as you were doing your customer discovery, and I don't know what the official term is for getting a measure of what's out there in the market, what did you discover, if anything, about how this maybe compares to other services that are trying to go after solve some of these same problems?
Yeah. So there's a lot of things in this arena. A lot of people are familiar with like Tackle or TaskRabbit, and it's hard for us to kind of to explain to people exactly how we're different. So those services, are kind of one-off sort of things. You just hire someone to come in and do more of like a specialty thing, like more of a handyman thing generally. Cleaning your house. Like we're not really a house cleaning service. We will clean your house if you need us to, but there's other services out there that do that. So we establish more of a relationship. One of the things we have built into our system, when a panda goes and does a job, we've got a place where they put in the notes that the member sees, and then also notes for other pandas and admins, so they can begin to build a history on our member. And we have a place for pictures. So say you go and you organize someone's linen closet, right? So then the panda takes a picture of it, and then it's there in the member's file. So then another panda comes a couple of weeks later and is putting away laundry, and she can be like, oh, okay. Or he that can go back and look and say, okay, this is how they like it. So it's more of a relationship. And the sorts of things we do, it's a lot more, it can be anything, right? It's that personal assistant thing. And then the sense of community is also the really big thing. Like Tackle, they have a 60-mile radius that people can work. So, you come in from anywhere. if you're a provider, you're driving, in Atlanta, 60 miles. Jeez. It could be a couple hours.
Sure.
So here, because it's so, the efficiencies are so great being in the community, and it's a sense of trust, right? You think about next door, right? And that's another sort of thing that has some similarities to us. It's just people within your community, you tend to trust them more, right? There's a level of social accountability. And so that is also how we're very, very different. It's someone that you might run into at Publix. You're less likely to steal their grandmother's brooch out of their,
right.
So anyway, so that, those are the ways that we're really different. And also with those, platforms, you've got to go and you've got to research. You look at all the different people. You're like, okay, so this person has 5 stars. This person has 5. Like, how do I even decide? And it's just that process. If people are really busy, just even going in and being like, God, now I've got to spend 10 minutes trying to figure out who this is, and I've got to meet them here. And like, we just take all that off your plate and we take care of it all for you. So
what compelled you to get involved with ATDC? Did someone recommend that? Were you already aware of it?
So I was not aware of it. Actually, my business partner, Amanda Farahany, she is an attorney here in town, and she was at some women's conference and someone from ATDC was speaking. She's like, this sounds amazing. I'm like, it sure does. We came in, we met with somebody and learned about it. And then I went ahead and signed up for the education.
So did you enter into this with a set of assumptions or starting points, and a few of them got modified, and you maybe, okay, we need to take this a little differently, or, I wasn't really looking at that quite. Was there a little bit of that already?
There was a little bit of that. Honestly, things have been pretty spot on from what we were kind of anticipating. I mean, I think a lot of it is the sort of things we're doing is sort of stuff that kind of everyone needs help with. It's not like specialized, right? I'm a busy single mom. Like I know the stuff that needs to happen, I see it. So there haven't been that many surprises. There's been definitely a few things we have to tweak, but yeah.
Now, in your plan, do you find that you're going to need to go out and raise money, or you think you might be able to bootstrap this puppy the way you've got it laid out? So we just did a friends and family round of investments. So we got some friends and family to invest some money, which helped us build our app, and it's starting to help us do some marketing. Mm-hmm. We're kind of going back and forth about that right now. I think we're going to have to raise some money. We contemplate, like, maybe we can bootstrap, and I look at it, I'm like, if we really want to expand our technology to where we can actually start to scale it, we're going to need to do a whole nother, a pretty significant another investment in that, and really getting a team of people to kind of help with the training and the support and stuff like that. So I think we're probably going to be looking to raise some money here in the next maybe 6 to 8 months. And so you're going to have more, I think the term you used was groves. I'm hoping that at some point you'll have a grove in East Cobb, or,
yes.
Right? And a grove in Roswell. So to do that, you feel like you're going to need resources, and you may have to have a grove tender for every 5 groves or something. I don't know, but right?
Yes, exactly. Well, so our plan right now is through the end of the year, to be in about 20-ish neighborhoods. So we kind of expand in a rolling fashion. So like we have the pandas in one neighborhood that can kind of serve as we open up the next neighborhood and start to get pandas there, and then members. So it's like contiguous growth. And then hopefully by the end of next year, we'll be in many major Atlanta markets like Roswell or East Cobb. And then our plan now is like maybe, the next 3, 4, 5 years be in the Southeast and some like medium-sized markets.
Fun stuff. So what have you enjoyed the most so far?
God, the whole thing has been really fun. Learning so much. I never really considered myself a business person or an entrepreneur, and I'm like really kind of beginning to take on that identity, which has been fun. So it's just creating the idea and seeing it come to fruition, and the continual positive, excited feedback I get from just about everybody that I tell about this. It's just so fun to get so much positivity. And most recently, just because I've been interviewing so many people for pandas, it has been fascinating to get to know people. There are some amazing people out there. And you were talking about the listening to all the people coming in here and being like inspired by everything. Listening to some of the classes at ATDC, some of the things that people are creating, I'm like, oh my God, I have faith in humanity again. Like, this is amazing. People are so creative and coming up with amazing stuff. So it's just the whole process has been awesome.
So that was my immediate visceral response when you talked about hyper local. I thought what we did was hyper local, Blake, because like we'll have studios, and even here in Atlanta, we've got 4 or 5 studios. But yours really,
yes.
So that sort of, it made my ears perk up when you talked, when I read about it, and then when you talked about hyper local. So I appreciate the novelty of it and the value proposition that you described of having people and trust. Was there some other design behind the hyper local? Like, did you know from day one we're going hyper local? Was that sort of
Absolutely.
A fundamental?
That was it. Yeah, I mean the whole
thing's built on that.
The whole
idea,
thing is built on that. It's that sense of community, and I mean honestly, and I've got so many different ideas too. Like this is our basic business model now, but there's so many other. Once we have that foundation and the platform for connecting the people in the community, there's so many different things that we could build upon with that. So really it's about the supporting of the community, and the number one easiest way to do that is help people just get stuff off their to-do list and make their quality of life better. Give them the gift of time, right? And give the people that have the free time an ability to monetize that and to help people and have a sense of, of worth, in your community. So that is kind of the real thing that's underpinning it all. So
you make a good point though. With that infrastructure in place, ideas you haven't even thought of can be executed with that, through that pipeline.
Totally.
Right? That some ideas you may already have, some maybe you haven't even thought of yet. But if you've got that in place of these people who know and like and trust each other and feel part of a community. Now, you've used a term several times already in the conversation, member. So there's the panda, and then there's the
customer,
would-be customer out in East Cobb when you get out there. And so, talk to me about being a member. Is it really as simple as like downloading an app and then I'm pretty much ready to go? And do I search like through people who provide a certain category of services or?
So, excuse me. Okay, so as soon as the app is up, right now we've got like an online system. So if you were interested in getting services right now, we could provide them.
You could actually get services now if you lived in one of the groves that you serve.
Yes. Okay. And we've been doing that. We have a beta testing.
Okay.
So for the last year, we've been providing services and kind of working out some of the things.
Gotcha.
So so we've got that going. But once the app is up, you just go to the App Store, you download the app, and then just set up your profile. So you go in, you set up your profile. We have to do an approval process to make sure you're in a grove. So that there's a little bit of a lag there, just so somebody actually has to make sure that you're in our service area before we tell you we can provide services. So once we do that, we just approve you, and then we set your neighborhood, and then that neighborhood is paired with all the different pandas in that neighborhood. And then you go in and go through and you say, okay, I want to get a kitchen tidy up. You put that in, you put the time you want it, the date you want it, any specific notes. We provide an option for a bamboo lockbox for our members if they don't have a keypad or something. So we'll send them a lockbox and they'll have that so we can have access.
Is that?
Yeah, because we're trying to think about, like, we just can't keep track of keys and everything. So
right.
So if they want to do that, we do that, and then you just put it in. Any specific notes you have, you've got your card on file. You put it out there. It goes out into the world of pandas in your neighborhood. And then they get an alert in their email, and they're like, okay, there's a job available. They look at it. So it's basically first come, first serve. Whoever gets it, whoever it fits in with something they like doing, their skill set, their time frame, and then they accept the job, and then they complete it. And then it just charges to the member's card.
Nice. All right, so you alluded to this a little bit, but I'd like to dive a little deeper, partially because of what we're trying to do with the Business Radio X network. We're trying to grow it, but talk to me some more about your thinking on how you're going to grow this thing. I think you used the term, I'm not sure if I've come across, contiguous. Like you're sort of going to roll, like, really neighborhoods that are right next. You're just going to kind of keep going like that.
Yeah. So we've got, like, right now we've got our neighborhoods planned out through the end of the year, and so we start hiring pandas. We do that for 2 months in a neighborhood.
That's
and then
step one, is hiring the pandas.
Yep, because this is supply demand. We just got to get that taken. We've got to make sure we've got good people.
Right.
And then once we've got a pretty solid base in that new neighborhood, and then of course we've got the pandas in the neighborhood we're already in right next to it that can service that one neighborhood. And then once we do that, then we start doing the marketing for the members. So our marketing, we actually have a really because we're trying to be hyper local and grow organically from within the community, we allow our pandas, if they choose to be, they can be ambassadors for us. So we'll give them marketing materials. So whether it be door hangers or cards that they pass out at church or their yoga studio or PTA or whatever. And then they go ahead and when they refer members, if the members put them down as who they referred by, then they end up getting a 5% cut of any jobs that those people use, even if they're not the panda. So it really helps them grow, and then they'll help spread the word if we have specials. They'll want people to use us more, and so we'll give them the tools to do that. So that's a big way that we're really hoping. And everyone that I talk to it's fun to talk to the pandas. They're like, oh my God, okay, yeah, oh, my Bible study, oh, that's amazing, oh my gosh, I've got to get you into this school, oh my God, my kid's school, everyone's got, so it's been really fun we're really excited to just launch this thing.
Well, this bamboo/panda culture that you're building too, it sounds to me like, as an ambassador, first of all, I'm the type of person that would be an ambassador for you to some degree, whether I got any kind of financial incentive. That's the kind of people you're attracting, I'm sure. And I wonder, it sounds like I would be very surprised to learn if it were any different than this. It sounds to me like you're probably working with people that kind of have an abundance mentality, and it's not like the panda who will do the laundry doesn't want any more pandas that do laundry. They're happy to share. There's going to be plenty of opportunity.
Yes.
And so they're going to, and they're the kind of people that recognize that that there is, there's not a small piece of pie that we all have to split up, that it's,
yes,
that abundance mentality.
Totally. And that's totally our culture. I mean,
yeah.
And we're going to be having like a kickoff launch party. All of our pandas will come over. We're going to have one in Buckhead at Amanda's house and one in Decatur at my place. And we'll probably serve some Virginia wines. My family owns a winery in Virginia, so
cool.
I also tout Virginia wines, which, by the way, are delicious. It's not North Georgia wines; they're delicious, different. It's really great.
There's a Virginia winery named Stone Creek.
Yeah, there is.
So my oldest lives up that way, so we go to that.
Okay, yeah. So, we're going to really encourage that sense of community, right? And then.
Right.
In addition to this kickoff thing with the pandas coming together, I want to have like meet your panda parties as well in different communities.
Wow.
So, the members can come and get to meet people and, and just have different things. So really community is a huge word that we use all the time.
I'll bet. And then all the while, you've got to be smart and planful in your growth, in keeping up with the tech side of your business, because it's not like you'll get it all figured out next week and that'll be the end, right? So you got to keep an eye on that. It's very evident just that when you start talking about this work, how passionate you are, not just about the business, but about the way you want the environment to be. This, I think culture was the word that you used. So this is hard work. This is very demanding work for someone like you.
It is very demanding.
Right?
Yes. But it's super fun. Like, it doesn't really, it feels like work. I'm all the time. Like,
sure,
it's constant. And I've got 2 kids. 7 and 12-year-old boys, and they're like, they're insane, wonderful. But, so it's like, I've got a lot, but it's just, it's like my philosophy in life is this is our one life, right? And when you have things in front of you and you have opportunities, and just live it the best you can. Like, what's the point in not, And so that's like my philosophy. And this is awesome. Like, I wouldn't stop, there's no stopping.
I believe you. I absolutely, you just, you just radiate enthusiasm and passion. I think it's fantastic. What can we do to help? I know near term, probably I don't even know if you can see past the app coming out.
Right. Right.
But near term, what do you need most? And maybe there's a way for us to help. You need more pandas. You need more pilot customers. And
so, yeah, we both. That's the thing. Both of those are going to be constant needs. And people can be pandas and members too. Like, there isn't anything that keeps you from being both. But just, the word of mouth, the talking it up, letting people know that it exists, that it's something different, and that we're here to serve, those daily needs. And, so, that's it. We have our website is, bookmybamboo.com. And so you can go there and you can, apply for Panda. We're changing some of our onboarding stuff. So we've got some systems that we're changing right now, but we've got like a little survey you fill out for your pre-screening for pandas, if you want to do that, if you're in any of our groves. And even if people fill it out, we keep them stuff on file, right? Cause eventually we're going to be in a lot of neighborhoods. So
even if I am in East Cobb, I should probably still go to the website, poke around a little bit, kind of get to know what's happening, cause you're coming.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We'll be there. We'll definitely be there. Yeah. And you can see all our different services. You can kind of, just get a feel for what we do. You can put in your, profile, get set up, and then we'd assign you to whatever neighborhood you're in. And then when we roll into that neighborhood, we'll alert you and turn you on to start getting services. So.
Oh, that is marvelous. Okay. One more time before we wrap, coordinates if someone wants to learn more, go to a website, talk to you. What's the best way?
Yeah. So website is bookmybamboo.com. You can email me at Tamara@bookmybamboo.com. We have a Facebook page, which we're kind of not quite as good with social media as we should be, but,
you have to get you a social media panda.
I know. We actually do have one that's helping us with marketing right now. So that's the best way.
Well, it has been an absolute delight having you come in here. Thanks so much for sharing your story, and keep us posted. We want to follow your progress.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. We'll be up. We'll be everywhere soon, hopefully. So thank you for having me.
All right. This is Stone Payton for producer Blake. We will be back in a little bit with ATDC Radio.